favorite toppings on your pizza? I think I can guess this one. That's
All
from
right,
Lee. That's from Lee Hampton.
Guess this.
Yeah. Well, my guess for yours would be.
I'm trying to fix my microphone, so you give your guess.
Well, you like all the meats. You like
I
meat
do.
lovers. All the meats.
Pardon the noise here.
Yeah, you like meats. That's pretty much it. I mean, though, and
I like the meat lovers. What the fuck? There we go. Yeah, I like the meat lovers. I like the Papa John's Supreme.
Yeah,
the works is what they call it.
The works, but you take something off of it though, don't you?
Not really. I don't really eat the pepperoncinis that come with it. I can take or leave the olives.
The olives is something I think
probably the olives. If I was gonna pass on anything, it'd be the olives.
When I ordered for you before, I remember you taking.
I think it was the olives, and we had them put something else on it instead, like more sausage or something like that.
Yeah, probably.
I haven't had a works in a long time since the N word is messing it up for a lot of people, because it's hard for me to support him with what he said. He was actually, from what I understand, trying to tell people what not to say, but then again said it himself. So there's some that have took his side in it and said he didn't mean any harm, and others say, well, you said it, so you got to pay the price. And all I know is that the stocks have gone way down since even before he said that. And basically, when he blamed the NFL for not standing for the anthem, hurting his pizza sales. So yeah, Papa, and he's a local guy. I met him when he was just first starting Papa John's. And I used to pass out flyers for him in the Humana building, and I would get 2 free pizzas a week for passing out flyers in the break rooms. And, and I always got the Supremes, of course, and those were back then about $18 pizzas, $17 pizzas. So I was getting $35 worth of pizza a week, and then I'd sell slices to the employees because a slice or two of these big son of bitches is about all you need for lunch. So I would sell them for $3 a slice in the break room and make some decent money off his pizzas. And if I wanted more pizzas, he'd normally give me more, but 2 was the deal. But if I wanted a third one, it wasn't that big a deal.
I have a lot of friends that work for that company, which we've talked about. I mean, not on the show, but personally.
Yeah, because we've talked about getting me an unlimited supply of garlic sauce.
Yep, and
never did get it.
Well, it'll happen. Yeah. But right now, I support Papa John's for my friends only, not the Papa John himself, but I support the company because I have a lot of friends and stuff that work there, family members.
Well, that could be the use I could use. I won't support Papa John, but I'm going to eat his damn pizza. I got to find my snug.
What's your thoughts of Impact Wrestling?
I have none because I never watch it.
All right. And then what your thoughts on Jim Neidhart, Jim the Anvil Neidhart?
I did not know him real well. I met him a time or two. I thought he was one of the better promos in wrestling because he did them his own way. Nobody did a promo like Neidhart. He wasn't ripping anybody off, and it was hard to rip him off. I couldn't do one the way he did them, and that goofy laugh that he had. So I thought his promos were very original. I thought the wrestling part of it was adequate. It was what it needed to be. Hell, when Bret Hart's your partner, you don't have to do too damn much. And I was not really a Bret Hart fan, but when it comes to technical wrestling, I mean, how technical did Neidhart have to be? He just needed to be the slugger and the beef in the team. But I could tell by watching the shows. I mean, I've had my own health issues, and I labeled him even worse off than me. I knew the last 2 or 3 times I saw him on TV with Natalie that there just wasn't any way he could possibly be with us much longer. I did not like what I saw. And I don't even think I've been in as deep a shit that he looked into me. So, I mean, even though I feel like it today. So,
and one of the things though, did you hear how he died? What happened?
Well, I just heard a heart attack. What did you hear?
No, he fell and hit his head. And the trauma.
I think everybody probably just assumed it was a heart attack. Just
he had a
kind of watching him on TV, so he fell and hit his head. Huh?
He had a bad fall. Yeah,
Bobby, goddamn. Well, I've fallen, as you know, a few times.
Mm-hmm. You haven't hit your head though.
I never hit my head. Tore my knee all to hell. I fell down out in the yard once, and fortunately fell like a wrestler, so I didn't hurt my head. And I fell twice in the house here recently. And thank God, or whatever it is you pray to, that I got rid of my glass coffee table, because had it been there, my big ass would have went through my glass coffee table. And then the second time I fell, it was where the glass coffee table was. But now It's that, I think you can kind of see it behind me. It's that white ottoman.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I fell into that, and that's padded. So minimal damage was done. So once again, I apologize for the cough, guys, but I don't have a cough button here. The only thing I could do would be to turn the sound all the way off.
So what if Omarosa's current plans come in fruition? And what if the tape was produced? I guess,
I think if he's on tape saying the N-word after denying it one way up and down the other, I don't see how you survive that. He's already done enough that if you're with any other company, any other business, any other position, HR would swoop you into the office and get rid of you. I mean, you work AT&T, right?
Yeah.
Imagine what would happen if 20 girls at AT&T said that you had sexually violated them. 20.
Well,
you think you're going to be working the next day?
Probably not.
No. 20 allegations and you're gone. They don't want to get. They don't even give a fuck what your story is. Doesn't matter. Look at who was the comedian on Saturday Night Live who was a congressman, a senator, maybe
Al Franken.
Al Franken. One girl made one accusation of something that happened with them on an airplane, to where he took some inappropriate pictures with him. To my knowledge, never touched her. I think I heard he might have kissed her at one of the shows or something, or tried to. But that was it. One and done. He was gone in a few days. It took no time for the Democrats, and they made him go. I mean, it wasn't, I mean, he might have put up a fight about it, but the Democrats made him go. So that's one thing. And as you all know, I am an independent, but that's one thing I will say about the Democrats is that normally when there's a serious violation like that, especially against women, they will get their ass out of there. There's been 2 or 3 times, but the Republicans, for whatever reason, will fight it tooth and nail. It's every woman's a liar. Every woman's not telling the truth. And yeah, 20 women are lying about Trump, knowing how Trump is, knowing all the payoffs that he's made, seeing the pictures, hearing what he said on the bus while he was married, that it was perfectly fine for him to grope women's pussies. And let you be recorded saying that at AT&T, that you think it's perfectly fine. And women love it when I come up and grope their pussies. They love me. They're attracted to me. You won't be there the next day.
No.
And neither would the CEO of AT&T. And that was what was pointed out on all the news channels today, is that you let this behavior go anywhere else other than the president, and not only the president. What would you think? Where would Obama be if 20 women come up and said that Obama had violated them? Do you really think Obama would be in office the next day? Shit, no. They would have forced him out, and I bet he would have stepped down until his name was cleared. That's what decent people do. Well, you know, I'm going to be a hell of a distraction. I'm not going to get anything done. Pence, ball's in your court now, and let me get my name cleared. Or I'm guilty and I'm not fit for this job. We hold our presidents and our leaders to a much higher standard than the rest of us. And so if the rest of us can lose our jobs over a tiny fraction of what he's done, then he should lose his too. And I don't give a fuck if he's Republican, Democrat, Independent, or a Martian. You don't get to act like that as president of the United States. He called Omarosa a dog today. Talked about her lack of intelligence. And 11 of the last 15 people that he's insulted their intelligence has been black. And that's a pretty damn high ratio when 75% of the people you insult and say are stupid are black. And then calls her a dog, which is another word for a bitch. And you go into AT&T tomorrow and call one of the girls a dog. See how long you're there. And let somebody, there you tweet it even. Do like he does. Just tweet it. You don't even have to go to work. Just pick one of your employees, and especially if she's black, tell everybody how stupid she is and call her a dog. And then I'm anxious to see if your little magic swiping ID works tomorrow, because it won't. I promise